getting fixed.
You know you have your own star rating on here, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm a 4.93.
So we gave you a bad review?
So at some point, somebody
should look at
was
mine.
like,
All right, I'm ready when you are, C-Run.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we are clear. Ready to go live in 5, 4. Cue the talent. 3. Hey, I said cue the talent. 2 and 1. Attention hobbyists, sports fans, and collectors nationwide and abroad. It's time to get hype. About the hobby we are all a part of. Live from the Mojo Break Studios, it's Dan and Doug. Check it out. Come on! So, get hype. Be hype. This is The Hype.
What is going down, everyone? It is The Hype, episode number 91. What's up? Look at me. I'm over there. If you're tuning in live, you see a whole complete different setup for today's show. But thanks for tuning in. We our main broadcasting computer just decided to go to heck, and we have a makeshift situation going on. But we're glad to be back. We took a week off because we had the technology issues. We're here. We want to talk about cards. We want to talk about Zion, Vlad, Rookie Premier. Gary V's been all up in the news. We're going to talk about that. So it's going to be a great episode 91. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you follow us here on YouTube as well as on Facebook and Twitter and all those other avenues. And, Dan, what's going down, dude?
yeah.
I just paid to be here. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and C-Rad is here. We just couldn't figure out the extra camera.
No, he isn't. He's Barry Bonds now.
Oh, that is. That's C-Rad right
That's
there on the
C-Rad.
screen.
It's good
91.
looking. It's a good looking swing, C-Rad. It's a good looking swing. One of the best.
Is he going to be silent? He's talking with his hands right now. So you guys.
So
you
he
don't know
really
what-
can't see him.
You don't know what he's saying.
Really can't see him.
So we're going to get started with little Zion action. The NBA lottery happened yesterday, and everybody was on the edge of their seats with the 4 remaining lottery balls. Could have been the Knicks, could have been the Lakers, but they went 3 and 4. Grizzlies with number 2, and the Pelicans with number 1. Is it a foregone conclusion that Zion is going to the Pelicans? What do you think, C-Rad? Is there any chance they go Ja Morant here?
Absolutely not.
No.
You win the number 1 pick to get Zion.
It was crazy because usually every other year, I mean, you have at least a couple guys who are in, because different teams have different needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you always have that speculation of who could it be. It's a foregone conclusion that whoever got the first pick was going Zion. Didn't matter what their needs were. I mean, according to Doug, the Pelicans already have Zion.
They do. And that's coming up. That's coming up. A little teaser. A little teaser for later in the show.
I think the only team
They have 2 Zions on their team now. It's
team
crazy.
Only team that I could see maybe not picking Zion is if the Suns won the first pick. That's it. Just the Suns.
Well, let's talk about the implications for the hobby to start off before we, go around and talk about all the other stuff regarding Zion. Is this good or bad, or does it not even matter what team he's on? Is this guy the next coming of Jesus, the next LeBron, that it doesn't matter what team he plays on? I'm going to start with Dan. What is your thoughts on Zion being on the Pelicans at the Smoothie King Arena?
Doesn't matter.
It
Doesn't matter. People love him. I mean, I didn't watch enough Duke games. I mean, I saw all the highlights and all the dunks and the alley-oops and the 360s and all that stuff, but I haven't seen enough that's going to translate into one of the best NBA players. I saw they had this chart on, it was like a speculation. They've been doing it since 2005 of top draft picks the percentage of them making an All-Star game, Durant was 56%
Okay.
coming out of college
To make an All-Star
to
game.
make an All-Star game.
Interesting.
Zion is the highest ever. He's 76%.
Is that just one All-Star game or his rookie year?
One All-Star game in their career.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's pretty good odds. I wonder what Simmons or
No,
Doncic
the highest ever.
was Durant.
No, the highest ever
It
was Zion.
but Durant was the highest.
No,
before.
he was. There was. I want to say there was two guys who were above. Durant was like third on the list at 56%.
Interesting. C-Rad, what was your initial reactions, could have been multiple, of Mr. Zion and the Pelicans getting that first pick?
A couple of things. First, I was dying because all those teams that tank, you suck. You can keep sucking. That was number one. Secondly, of course, I think if he was in a bigger market, say like if the Lakers somehow magically freaking got the first pick, that's huge, right? Biggest rookie in a long time in probably the biggest market in basketball. But I'm actually ecstatic because the Pelicans don't sell for crap, even with AD all these years, right?
Right.
So now the
Maybe
Pelicans
bring some attention to a fun
right,
city.
Yeah, and and New Orleans is a really fun city, like you just said. But I was happy for as far as hobby too. Like I think it's good. New team to chase. Not the same old big market team. So
Well, it's gotten us so excited
happy.
that we've actually booked flights. We're actually going out to New Orleans next weekend. I might get a Duke jersey, a Duke #1 jersey, just to wear out and around the town. Maybe people will hug me.
You think?
Maybe people will come up to me and be like, "I love my life again because now we have God."
You think you have a chance of getting a Zion Pelicans jersey
by
already?
the time we get out there?
Yeah.
Possibly.
You think they're just gonna start printing them up?
Oh yeah, maybe.
you could definitely get some on the bootleg market right now.
Yeah, I mean, what if they're you do a custom and they're like, "No Williamson." Well, that's my last name, man. Give me a Williamson custom jersey.
Yep.
So, but it's going to be entertaining to watch. I actually one of my initial thoughts right away when I saw the last 4 teams remaining was if the Lakers get the first pick, I think that would increase the chances of Zion signing with Upper Deck. So, and I'll elaborate here, is obviously LeBron James is part of Clutch, which is Rich Paul's agency. Rich Paul hates Panini, so he has Ben Simmons. He has LeBron James, and he doesn't want them to sign for Panini. He has them sign for Upper Deck, which obviously kills the hobby. So I was thinking if he goes to the Lakers, LeBron's going to be like, "Hey, what up? Hey, let's talk. Hey, I think you should sign with Rich Paul."
Bruh.
So,
Didn't Zion already sign with Rich Paul? Or
no, it's still a possibility, and it's the longest. He doesn't have an agent yet, which is crazy. I assume now he's going to have an agent within the next few days. So it's going to be interesting to watch. It's between Rich Paul's Clutch agency and Rock Nation. So
Is that Jay-Z?
that's Jay-Z's. Which I think if he went to New York, if the Knicks had the first pick, he probably would have signed with Rock Nation. So the Pelicans now AD. Now I know he's on his way out, but AD has Rich Paul as his agent. So Rich Paul does have some kind of ties in New Orleans there. So that may push it over the limit for him to sign with Rich Paul.
Do you think?
Which might be death to Zion autographs next year. So that's something to pay attention to. That's a big deal for next year.
Do you see the Lakers? Because the Lakers were projected. I think the odds were they were going to get the 11th pick in the draft. They ended up getting the 4th pick.
Yeah.
So they came up.
Yep.
Shoe came up.
Do you think that they may move that 4th pick to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis?
It's a very big possibility. That's what the rumors are.
Because, I mean, do we think that Anthony Davis and Zion, I mean, talk about filling holes on a team. I mean, they don't. Can they really use both those guys?
Well, the Lakers have the 4th. They're also talking about the Knicks getting AD and giving the 3rd
Knicks
pick.
have a little bit better package too, because they have the 3rd pick.
Yeah, so it's AD could end up on the Knicks or the Lakers, I think. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to follow. But back to the card thing, I think.
And then Memphis got the 2nd.
Pick. They're keeping their pick for sure.
So they're gonna go. They're gonna go Ja.
They're gonna go Ja. That's the latest mock, right? And then what do you got? Reddish around in the 3rd or 4th pick there.
The other kid from
Or Barrett. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other
Barrett.
kid from Duke.
So man,
2 kids in the top 3 from Duke, huh?
2 kids in the top 3. And so, question for you guys in the chat and anybody listening. We also have our podcast. If you're watching this live, thank you guys. But we have our podcast available on iTunes. It's on Overcast. It's on Pocket Cast. So you can Listen to that in your car, at the gym, wherever you listen to podcasts. But what I was going to say is, before we go to the next slide, Prism Silver Zion. What does that start at? Is that double Luka's price? I mean, there has not been, and we say this every year. I feel like this is a redundant thing that we say every year, but it's like this is the biggest thing. This guy is the biggest thing in the last 10 years.
Until next year.
Well, I mean, can there be a Zion Williamson every year?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm more concerned with Bol and where is he going? I know out of Oregon, Pac-12, Conference of Champions.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want to see. I
where
want
he
to see
goes.
Bol.
Yeah, because he sells cards. 7-foot, 100-pound guys sell cards.
100 pounds soaking
Dude.
wet.
You know he's at least $180.
So Prism, Chris is saying 400. BGS, BGS 9.5, 400. I think coming out of the gate, early
$1,000.
sales.
Luka raw out the gates was 500.
It was
raw.
it was six. I remember
5, 6.
I didn't sell one for $600 because I'm like, think they're gonna go up.
But if he does sign, back to the Upper Deck thing, if he does sign with Clutch and he does sign an exclusive with Upper Deck for an autographed deal,
It goes up more.
those
Those are
Prism
worth more.
cards are going to be insane.
Yep.
Because
Insane.
Ben Simmons didn't even have he had a lot of hype, but not this kind of hype. So the Prism card now becomes the number one card because you're not going to have NTRPAs. You're not going to have optics on card autos. You're not going to have contenders draft. You're not or contenders autos as well. So that Prism becomes that number one card. So it's also interesting to follow what Panini decides to do next year with Prism. Are they going to double the production again? Are there going to be so many silvers that they're not going to maintain their value for this kid?
How about this? More silvers and base.
It might happen. It might happen. So, but New Orleans already has Zion. So if they, I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell the difference, to be honest with you. Julius Randle, Zion, I don't know. They both look like they could be the same player, So I don't know what to expect. I'm luckily he's number 1 and the other guy's number 30 because if Zion chose number 3, I wouldn't know who's scoring.
What was that?
And hopefully he does better in his career than Julius Randle.
Whoa, man, Julius Randle hasn't been bad. What's up with that? The two Spider-Men. What's pointing at each other?
They look exactly the same, so they're like, "Oh, you look like me." That's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one's Zion, one's Julius Randle?
Yeah, exactly. For those listening to the audio version, there's the Spider-Man meme on the screen right now, which is the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other saying, "You look like me."
Okay. All right. I see it.
I mean, Julius has aged a little bit more, obviously. Zion's still the young buck, and Julius is approaching the old bull status.
How old is Zion? Is he 20?
I think he's around 20, right?
19, 20?
I think so. He looks like a man.
He does. He does.
Yeah, he looks 30, like Julius Randle. But so yeah, it's hyped. It's hype. These distributors are probably already starting to count their money for the next season. They're also probably sharpening their pencils on how they're going to allocate product to us. I mean, we may have to buy 100 cases of NASCAR Prism to get 1 box of Prism basketball next year. I don't know. It may be something crazy like that because the Zion hype is it's going to be crack. It's crack cocaine to grown men.
And out of the gate, before these players actually start performing, we may be really chasing one player again
for this upcoming year.
Yeah,
you don't think Ja will?
Not out of the gate.
And he's on the Grizzlies too, right?
Not out of
if he gets drafted
like
by the Grizzlies.
the first 5 or 6 releases before they start playing. No one. People are gonna. It's gonna be Zion and Zion only. Would be a good time to buy Ja. Could we just call him J.A.?
I mean, there's gonna be.
Could call him J.A. Call him J.A.
You can.
I am.
It's Ja.
I don't think so.
Jamel, I believe is his name. Ja, RJ, and Zion. Exactly. DJ Rez, his off topic here, but the Superfractor is going to Heritage Auction. That's awesome. The Superfractor that Mojo Staley was part of. C-Rad pulled, and then Mojo Staley put his stamp of approval on it. So that's awesome. We'll have to follow that. Maybe we'll get a link for that at some point and update you guys on that. But, it'd be interesting to watch this whole Zion thing. I think in the next few days we're going to find out if he signs with Clutch. And then Upper Deck is going to be foaming at the mouth. They're going to come up with a little bit of money, give it to him. Not as much as Panini would give him, but they're going to give him some money, and he's going to be happily signed with Upper Deck. But let's hope that does not happen. And Upper Deck doesn't troll the industry once again, because it might happen. So,
They're just building their portfolio, man.
They're fattening up the wallet there. They're fattening up the portfolio. It feels like that. I feel like they're like going to sell at some point. They're like just getting assets that they're not using, and they're like, okay, it's now the asking
Well, you
price.
could only do that for so long, right?
Well, I mean, they already have the two best basketball players of all time as exclusives, right? Jordan and LeBron.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ben Simmons.
And Ben
I'm all,
Simmons.
damn, dude.
The third best basketball player of all time, Ben Simmons.
They win? The Philadelphia, your
It
team?
was close, man. It was
Your team?
one lucky bounce away from possibly going to the finals, and yeah.
One lucky bounce.
Yeah, one lucky bounce that you just pulled the old Don Nelson on you on us. You know, the old bounce up and go in, which was pretty exciting. I got to say, I was watching that, waiting for my burrito, watching it at the taqueria on my phone, YouTube TV shout out, and that was some high intensity.
You got to give it. Embiid couldn't have played that any better. He was in his face. I don't know what else he could have done. Kawhi Leonard got lucky.
Alfredo Saw says Carson Edwards will be the dark horse. Got to do some studying on him. I haven't really heard of him, but I haven't seen enough about him. But we'll be starting to get accustomed to this with all these mock drafts now going to be coming out and everything. So you got to remember, you know, Donovan Mitchell was drafted in like almost 20th or something overall.
13th,
13th, 14th.
Like
So
that.
I mean, there's still a lot of talent to be had in later rounds. So
later in the first.
later
round.
in the first round, I should say. There's not a bunch of rounds for
There's only
for
two.
basketball. There's only two.
Only two.
I pulled this off the internet. It was kind of a little tidbit about Zion and his name. High place, mountain in Israel. So it's like kind of saying like he's a god. So god to the sports card industry, maybe. We'll see. Who's buying Zion? Or are you guys buying somebody else for this upcoming rookie class? No, it's early, but you know.
Yeah, you know, you're talking about this. We still have about 17 releases for the 18-19 products.
Nah, who
So,
cares? Who cares about immaculate Luka? Who? It's time to
Immaculate,
move on to Zion.
Flawless, Luka. That kid's like out of shape.
Our attention span is it's already lasted too long for the 18-19 season. Let's bring on the 19-20 guys. Come on.
Everybody should be buying Trae Young. I'm telling you. Trae Young. Buy
Trae
him
Young?
now. Buy him now.
Trae Young. What pick did they get?
They actually got the Mavericks pick, and they had the 10th pick.
Got 8 and 10.
Oh,
They got
okay.
8 and 10?
Yeah, they had a yeah, that's right.
You think they can move 8 and 10
For one?
for Anthony Davis?
It's true. Does Anthony Davis want to go to Atlanta? Anthony Davis is like, hey, Pelicans, can we talk? Can we talk now? Hey, what are we doing? I know I wore that It's All Folks, shirt.
No,
but,
he wants out.
I didn't think. What was it? By the way, before we move on to the next,
And plus, Zion probably wants him out. Clean slate, gets to go in there. It's his
true,
team.
build his team. What was the percentage of the Pelicans getting the first pick? What was the percentage there?
6.
6%.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's not that crazy.
No. What was the best chance is like 14%, right?
Dude, it
14.
just shows that the new draft system is like there's no reason to tank anymore, guys. So if your team sucks and they're tanking for like that's what the Suns get, that's what the Knicks get. They were trying to tank.
No, they were trying to play. They're just that bad.
Nah, they just suck.
No, they were just that bad.
They were the Suns were trying to tank.
DJ Rez is buying Zion and Barrett. Long Arms Mike says Colin Sexton's greater than Trae Young. So, bold statement. I don't know if I disagree.
Well-
I'm not a big Trae Young
well,
fan.
where are they-
Dan is all up on his nuts, but me personally,
It's all about shooting threes. Look at Steph.
It is all about shooting threes.
It's all about
It
shooting
is.
threes.
Can't deny that after last night's
So
game.
we'll see. I mean, Zion's not going to be shooting threes. He's going to be dunking. Is he going to bring back the dunk? Are we looking for the dunk now?
I think so.
We're out of the 3 game.
Yeah, dunk contest will be amazing if Zion's in it, right?
No, he won't be in it.
He probably won't.
Maybe his rookie year, but he'll probably never be in it again after that.
Now, also, my inquiring mind was, because Anthony Davis, come All-Star break, was like, I'm done playing, right? And they didn't really play him as much. I wonder how many losses they accrued by really not playing Anthony Davis because he kind of was like, I'm done. That helped him get Zion in a sense, right? Because he's like, I'm leaving, and they helped him maybe move up in their percentages.
Barely.
Maybe
6%
barely.
Is,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. The way the new draft lotto works, it doesn't matter as much if you have the most amount of losses anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Don't tank.
Yep. Don't.
So this
tank.
person was a little. So this is going to be kind of a visual segment coming up. It's a real quick segment.
Long Arm's breaking down the 3-point percentage. I like it.
This person right before the draft.
I saw that.
Got a little happy and thought that their 13% for the Knicks was going to pay off.
Jesus, man.
So got a Zion Knicks tattoo on the ankle.
You can barely tell it's a Knicks logo.
Yeah.
I mean, he could basically walk around and just be like, "Love Zion."
I guess you got to name your kid Zion now. Maybe I think it's a female, but maybe name their kid Zion to be okay with it. But maybe Zion after his rookie contract, maybe he goes to New York and then the tattoo makes sense.
Maybe the Knicks trade up.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what the Pelicans would want for the first overall pick.
Oh, you're gonna have to give up the.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give up LeBron and Michael in their prime.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Knicks. Who do the Knicks have? They got
Dennis Smith.
Oh well, I mean, right there.
Fair trade.
I could see moving up for Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, you're getting a cornerstone pillar of your franchise right there.
Yeah, and they don't have Kristaps anymore, who got beat up.
They have Kevin Knox and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, maybe Kevin Durant.
Not maybe.
Kevin Durant maybe going to the Pelicans now. I don't know.
Kevin Durant is going to the Knicks.
Yeah, he's not going to the Pelicans.
Kevin Durant will not be a Warrior. Klay Thompson will be a Warrior. I think the Warriors are going to give him a max contract.
I don't think KD's going anywhere.
KD's gone.
What percentage of Luka collectors are buying their New Orleans Pelicans hats right now? Just to get ready. And what percentage are going to stop buying Luka and buy Zion? Probably easy 50%. But anyways,
what would happen on draft day if Luka got traded?
Ooh, that'd be crazy. So these are bad tattoos, just because I was on the tattoo segment, so I kind of went in a deep hole on Google. But these are failed tattoos. World Series champions Pittsburgh Pirates 2015 didn't happen. Detroit Lions have never won a Super Bowl, but apparently the person on the right thought that they were going to win in 2005. Is this worse than getting a name of a boyfriend or girlfriend on
Yeah. Who was the quarterback for the Lions in 2005?
John Kitna?
That made that person think. Because that's before Stafford. So was it Kitna?
It could
was
have
it
been
was it
Kitna.
Harrington?
Was
it Joey Harrington?
Somebody who's got quick Google fingers.
And that's way after Barry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
So who's running the rock? Who is on that team that makes you believe that in 2005 the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl? Calvin Johnson?
No, he was 2007.
Oh, man. Like, who do you have? Herman Moore?
Let's say 2005 Detroit Lions. And these are some just horrible tattoos. I don't know why anybody would get a Charlie Villanueva tattoo on them, but this gentleman did. Maybe he saved his life. And then there was a
I love that. I love that ticket stub.
Yeah, go back. That is the Oakland A's. That is the Mother's Day game of Dallas Braden. So that is supposed to be a tattoo of Dallas Braden and a tattoo of the ticket stub. And, yeah, I don't know. The guy must have had a whole lot of time.
I was trying to move on.
Those,
from that one,
and you know what? A's fans, man. A's fans. C-Rad. What's up with your people?
The Lions were 5-11 in 2005.
5-11.
So it must have been
You know what?
a season before.
No. They probably went 4-0 in the preseason, and that person's like hammered drunk before the season starts, and they're all, I'm doing this.
Even
Super Bowl.
But who's going to do this? So, once again, you guys listening to the podcast, there is a tattoo that says Fantasy Loser, and it has a unicorn and a rainbow, and it says the year, 2010. That is a ballsy bet right there.
That right there had to be a fantasy league bet, and the last place had to probably get that, which I'm down with, because I never finish in the cellar.
You never finished last place?
No.
Let's do that. Let's raise the stakes this year. This is a great tattoo as well. It's knowledge is power, I think is what he went for. Yeah. I think they wrote that out on themselves real quick, right? I mean, even I know it's obviously misspelled, but the fact that it's not even looks good and misspelled.
No, it looks like it's actually a self-done tattoo.
Yeah.
Which is probably pretty hard to do.
But you wouldn't go get a dictionary, or maybe if it was prior to the internet, you wouldn't go get a dictionary.
Dude, it's not like it's permanent, bro.
So yeah, knowledge is power, with knowledge spelled N-O-L-E-G-E is power, is a tattoo that somebody got.
Like it.
But you can find more bad tattoos by Googling bad tattoos.
I thought we were going to keep on going with this. That's all you got?
No, I mean, because like I said, people that are listening to the podcast, I didn't want to just,
It's fun.
And we kind of already talked about Clutch Sports remains in play for Zion, so we'll have to follow that story. Wanted to get right into Vladimir Guerrero.
It's no Anderson back tattoo.
Anderson back tattoo is great. Yeah. I know, I should have put his picture up there. Nothing like a little San Francisco home therapy to get Vladimir Guerrero back on track as he hits 2 home runs last night. I love the fact that they put up on the screen that he was one of the youngest guys to hit 2 home runs in a game. Like that was an accomplishment. I mean, it is. But how many people jumped off the train? I don't know. How many people were in panic? Probably a lot of people. But games like this, Vladimir Guerrero, 2 home runs. He's back. He's back in the mix.
What it told me, the only thing I got out of it was if a guy truly has power, he could hit at AT&T or Oracle Park or whatever we're going to call it now.
Yeah.
It just means the Giants have nobody and haven't had anybody with real power for a decade. So,
yeah,
maybe over a decade.
Ahmed Fareed was like,
Ahmed
Fareed was like, what's all this talk about moving in the fences?
I mean, dude, he made that park look small.
Yes, Mike. That's exactly what I just said. Yeah, he made the park look small.
So if you could find, there's players out there. I'm talking to you, Giants. There's players out there that can hit the ball out of the park.
You just got to find them.
It's not the park's fault.
No. And so I was looking at his prices, and they actually are kind of maintaining from the preseason prices. This is a recent, just Bowman Chrome 9.5, 2016 Bowman Chrome Vlad Guerrero Jr. 9.510 that sold for $11.50. So the prices people haven't panicked on him yet with his sub 200 batting average. But hopefully this is the beginning of a tear, and we're all going Vlad mania in this hobby. So his prices are really high already. But it's a good sign for everybody that spent a lot of money on this kid that he's got a couple home runs now to ease people's minds.
See, and, dude, it gets back to talking about home runs and how far the home runs are and how – now it's like how hard they're hit out of the park.
Oh, the velocity.
It's the exit velocity is like – people love that stat.
Yes.
It's just as good as a home run going 480 feet.
Yeah, I think he had the highest exit velocity of the night.
Yeah.
In those at-bats.
Well, I mean, the Giants aren't going to get any of that. Actually, I think today the Giants have I think it's Sean Anderson.
Okay.
And I think he's pitching.
Oh, nice.
Pitching. And I think he's like 3 for 3. I think he may be the best hitter on the team now, too.
Oh, pitcher?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's sign him up.
I think Aramis Garcia also hit his first home run.
Okay. Nice.
So I mean,
got some possibilities.
I think it's time for the full-on rebuild.
It's all right. We got the Sharks and Warriors, but I want to tell you guys, talking about Vladimir Guerrero, brand new product came out today. Prism. You can find his rookie autos in Prism. We have randoms today. We have PYTs. We have random half cases. We have random full cases. Brand new Prism, $29.99 for a 6-box random team, and you can get into that. There's 3 autos per box, and there's 7,500 color parallels. So. It's going to take a while to build a rainbow, but that's the fun of it, is to chase the rainbow in Prism. They didn't spare any parallels in Prism baseball, so it's a fun chase. I may have to wear sunglasses for the breaks today after the first case, but it is a fun little baseball product, and it's got Vlad, it's got Tatis, it's got parallels. We pulled 2 golds we pulled a gold Trout and a gold Ohtani. So it was a lot of fun this morning, and we've got more throughout the day and more throughout the weekend as well, so jump on that Prism train. So I wanted to get into Gary Vee. This guy seems to be the number 1 celebrity in the hobby right now. If you're on Twitter, you just see everybody retweeting him. You see everybody kind of hanging off his nuts. And I wanted to go over some of his tweets. And I appreciate his entrepreneur. I followed him before the card thing.
You part of the hanging? You hanging off?
Some days.
Some days
I hang on and off of his. I have his shoes that he made.
Oh,
so.
you actually do. You got them on right now?
No, I don't. But
so you officially. If you're going to go out and spend money on his signature shoes, do they make you smarter?
Yeah.
Make you more of an entrepreneur?
I almost made it on Jeopardy after wearing his shoes.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And, I mean, that kind of makes you a fanboy, right?
Yeah. But I haven't participated in the fanboy hanging tweets yet. I may. I don't know. I haven't ruled it out yet.
You're waiting for something like a juicy topic.
Yeah.
Like Barry Bonds Hall of Fame topic.
Yes, I'm waiting for him to jump in there. But Gary Vee is going to be setting up at the National, so get in line now. There's probably going to be like a Best Buy line for people just trying to talk to Gary Vee because he's got that kind of personality.
Who will have more commotion around their booth, Blowout or Gary Vee's booth?
Gary Vee.
Well,
I mean, Gary Vee isn't going to be selling wax, though, but
Gary Vee ain't giving out national VIP passes.
it probably doesn't have a megaphone.
He may have to. So these were some of the pictures that were on that tweet of some of his cards. So it looks like he's grabbing some LeBron James chromes, which I like because I've been trying to do the same as much as I can afford. And it looks like he's loading up on Pizza Boy Doncic, which I don't know if that's a good decision, but we'll see. He's got those actually are all Prism base, by the way.
No, and I was going to say he's
not buying silvers.
He's not buying silver. He's not buying Giannis silvers. He's only buying rookie base, like Prism base cards. So is that something we should be looking at?
I don't know.
Should we be loading up on Trae Young base?
I don't know. It's crazy, though, to show you how small this hobby is, that this guy, Gary Vee, from the couple things that he says, can make people kind of start buying something.
It's also loading up on Sam Darnold. What do you think about that?
I don't like Sam Darnold. I like the token Christopher Herndon.
I was gonna go. I was like, who's the guy on the top?
Yeah, Christopher Herndon, Superfractor.
Okay.
So he's obviously a Jets fan. So he's collecting some Prism. He's collecting some Prism Darnolds and stuff like that. But this is where I was kind of questioning it. If you read this tweet, and I'm not joking. There was 30 responses without anybody correcting him on this.
Yonder?
Correct. He said, one thing on my mind is trading. I used to trade a lot in the 80s and 90s. Less of a culture now. We should do that on Twitter. I want to trade Luka rookie cards for Yonder Alvarez rookies. That would be fun if more trading happened. Well, there isn't no such thing as a Yonder Alvarez. So if you guys want to go create some Yonder Alvarez cards and maybe try to trade it to Gary Vee, he said he'd be open. There may be some guy named Yonder Alvarez somewhere.
There is got to be a Yonder Alvarez card somewhere. I can almost guarantee.
Yeah, I mean, that's a common first and last name in baseball, right?
No, I'm pretty sure there is. But yeah, that's your Dan. Everybody knows your Dan.
Right.
I'll be your Dan.
Oh, there's a Yonder Alvarez. Is he a baseball player? He's an Instagrammer. No?
He's probably got cards.
Ah. All right, yeah, let's make a card of him and send it to Gary.
Yeah, he looks like he plays baseball.
He looks like he's got a cold brew in his hand too. I don't know, man.
No, he has. I don't know. He's got an Adidas shirt on.
So, but like I said, everybody was swinging back and forth on the tweets, and nobody corrected him until like the 30th tweet.
Well, you know what? Nobody.
Am I that much of a nerd that I know that it's Jordan and it's not Yonder?
I don't think anybody wants to call him out though. You don't want to be that guy.
Well, whatever, bro. Spelling police.
He may not hang out with you at the National.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Isn't it like how I always say Russell Westbrook and Russell Wilson?
Everybody does that.
But there's not a Jordan with another last name.
There's only one Jordan. There's only one Jordan
that I know of.
And then there's me.
There's my Dan. Your Dan.
I'm your Dan.
Oh, your Dan. Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up. I'm glad Chris brought that up, that he's been out of the game for a minute, so it's like he's just jumping back in. So he's kind of like a newbie collector in a way, but he's a newbie collector with a lot of money. So and he's got a lot of influence.
But he did collect, and was in the industry in the early 80s into the 90s. So he's not a newbie. He's a newbie with
this generation.
Yes. The current generation of cards. The current what we're autographs and relics and parallels and all that stuff. But prospecting.
Do you think it's a positive hobby, or do you think his influence and his tweets and all the eyeballs on it, is it a negative thing?
I don't know, man. I need to really kind of digest it. I need to see. I do see the influence that he has just in some of his tweets. I see a couple things. I see people go, hey, I just picked up a bunch of cards at a yard sale. Do you think these are worth anything? And it's all junk wax. It's all 89 tops and 91 Donruss and stuff like that. I see a lot of people like that, talking to him on Twitter. Then I see people going, oh, I just bought I just spent $3,000 on Giannis rookie cards.
Right.
these are people who like are truly just taking his word and just jumping headfirst in and just spending a crap ton of money. It could get dangerous.
But couldn't that be, and I'm not saying this is just off the top of my dome, couldn't that be kind of like an insider trading thing with stocks where you're holding all the stocks? Like you're holding, like maybe maybe he buys all these cards.
He's holding a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. He's not holding enough to dictate any market, but he does have a huge influence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if he buys all these Luka, like he did with Giannis, a lot of people are kind of speculating
but he's not going to be
Giannis went up because
he's not going to be able to buy enough of what is in the market to make a difference.
But he can make himself a lot of money, and then maybe others that are on his train, right? So like Giannis base, which there was probably 1 million Giannis base. Those are up to like.
Do you think he single-handedly
could have? He went on Rich Eisen. Dude, this community is so small. Like we said in a couple shows ago, 95% of people that watch baseball don't collect cards. So 5% collect cards. So you take that 5% and you tell them to go buy or sell something, that makes a big impact.
Okay. So
I agree. He goes
on Rich Eisen, right? And you say about 5% of people collect sports cards who
the
watch.
Data from the top summit, yeah.
How many of those people are sitting there watching Rich Eisen and even know who this guy is or care what he's talking about?
Well, there's probably a few that don't.
No, I would say most people look at him and don't know who he is and don't know why he's on the show or care.
But people in this hobby, we're all
so he could be talking about collecting cards, but they're like, I don't know who this guy is.
Right, but there's not a whole lot of casual collectors in this hobby. You're either in it or you're not.
There's not.
So if you're in it, you're on Twitter. You're looking at Panini's Twitter. You're looking at Topps' Twitter. You're seeing what like Watch the Breaks retweeted. You're seeing what Wax Heaven, all these sports card news, all these guys. You're involved in that. At least I am, that live and breathe this hobby. So you're seeing this stuff. You're seeing his influence.
I think it's. I mean, I'm not denying that he has some eyeballs on him, and he can capture people in the marketplace, but the people who are talking to him and retweeting him are basically just trying to get a connection with him. Right. And still, it's such a small industry. I mean, it's not like Elon Musk or somebody of that caliber went on on the Eisen show and basically was like, you should collect baseball cards.
No, he is.
No, but
he is the equivalent to Elon Musk.
No,
in the card industry.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
No, not. I'm talking about in real life, in like not just the card industry. I'm talking about in
celebrity status.
Celebrity status.
Okay.
I would say most people who watched that did not know who he is.
Right. That watched Rich Eisen casual.
Who watched? Yeah, I think I said Scott Eisen. Rich Eisen.
But the Rich Eisen, those people may have been like, okay, this guy's a billionaire investor, and he's telling me to go buy sports cards. There's probably a lot of people that started doing research because of that.
But I mean, I didn't see the beginning of the segment. Did they say on Rich Eisen that he was like? I know they probably said he was an entrepreneur, but did they give a background of like what he does?
I only watched the 5-minute clip that was floating around.
So did I. So I don't know. I honestly, if I wasn't in the sports card industry, I wouldn't know who he is. Would you?
Yeah, because I follow a lot of, when I was in sales, I followed a lot of entrepreneur stuff, but that's obviously a niche market as well.
I actually found out about Gary Vee before sports cards. Before I even knew he was into sports cards, I actually knew about Gary Vee because of music.
Okay, so maybe I'm the minority. Maybe I'm not in the know because I didn't know who he was until he started chiming in on sports cards, and then a lot of the people I follow in sports cards started talking about him and tweeting him out and stuff like that.
Mike T has a good point. He's only an influencer because real respected people in the hobby turned around and blasted what he said everywhere, and we did too. So, but like I respected him as an entrepreneur because his background, you could Wikipedia it, is he started from basically nothing, and he created this wine website, sold subscription to wine services, made a lot of money doing that, took that, invested in other things. So he's an idea guy, and he's probably one of the best hype men out there. I mean, you watch his videos, and it's like he's in your face, and he cusses a little bit, and it's like something different.
I'll tell you,
like Mark Cuban, dude.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
exactly. He could be on Shark Tank.
I'll tell you
And he probably has been.
the first time I ever heard of him is when there was that rumor going around that I think he tweeted out that he wanted to buy Topps.
Yes,
that
was when it started coming back around.
And that's the first time I'd ever found out who he was. And I actually think a lot of the interactions with the people who are in this industry that have blogs and do stuff like that, it's been positive with Gary Vee.
Yes,
there's been it's been definitely it's been the minority where people who have been blasting what he's saying and disagreeing with what he's saying.
Right.
Most of it's been positive. Most of the people who've been backing him and saying we need this type of like person in the hobby. I don't really know where I stand on it.
Right.
I mean
Yeah,
I see pros and cons both ways. I don't think he has enough pull to manipulate a market. I think there's too many cards out there.
Also, you want to look at this aspect. I know this is kind of maybe more of a paranoia way of thinking, but if you have a large collection that's worth a lot of money or it's priceless to you, and you have it in your house, and people just, oh, it's a baseball card, I don't know what it's worth. But guys like this, getting it out to the masses, are telling people how much things are worth. So now you have everybody like, if somebody broke in your house, they wouldn't look for the diamonds. They may look for the sports cards because they know that now. So I'm saying in a roundabout way, is he maybe bringing in people that maybe we don't want? Like he talks about sneakerheads. And sneakerheads, I have friends that are sneakerheads that collect all the sneakers. But if you go buy sneakers and you're in a bad area, you get robbed. You go stand in line at a Champs and you're buying Jordans. There's multiple reports every weekend that a new big Jordan release gets released, that somebody got shot or killed or mugged for their Jordans. So he kind of is talking about that in this whole thing, that sneakerheads are going to now start collecting cards.
You get robbed for your slabs.
Well, I'm just saying, like, sometimes you don't want people to know what you have, right? You don't want that flawless.
That's why you got that bad boy right there. You're gonna handcuff it to yourself.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's gonna walk away with that thing. It's got a lock on it. But I'm just saying, and that's maybe, a glass is half empty mentality there. But, sometimes when you have, I've gotten my car broken into as a young man a lot of times. So I'm super paranoid all the time. So I'm super paranoid here, where I'm trying to make sure that nobody, the more eyeballs you have on you, the more chances that something could go bad.
I've always, people who are scared of their car getting ripped, like broken into, I used to deal with it in the music industry all the time. People would come in and be like, hey, my guitar got stolen out of my car. And I'm like, well, why did you keep it in your car? Who does that? Why would you do that? Don't leave valuable stuff in your car.
Oh, right. But I'm saying, like, somebody hangs around you and you're talking about your sports card collection and the word passes around and people have been watching, like, Twitter and Rich Eisen and they know these things are worth a lot of money. Because,
like, say if you have a retail spot that has a bunch of cards in it.
Yeah.
So people are more likely to break the window and try to come in here and, the old snatch and grab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that has been going on for a long time, well before Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I think the old snatch and grab is timeless. It's a timeless trade from people who do that type of stuff.
It is, but those people may look at other places like a computer store.
They're like, I'm not going to break into the jewelry store. I'm going to break into the sports card store.
Yes.
Where 10 years ago, I'd be like, I heard baseball cards aren't worth anything, so
I'm not going to risk going to jail.
I'm going to break into the jewelry store.
Right.
Okay. Well, that is pretty much living your life in fear.
It is. It's not a good look, but I'm just saying. These thoughts crosses. I'm sure this thought crosses everybody's head. Anybody that has like a $10,000 card, or even it could be a $200 card. You have it at your house, and maybe you have somebody over that you don't know, or your wife's friend comes over, and you're like, you don't want to really show them because it's a card. It can be put in somebody's pocket. It's not a guitar.
That's where you completely downplay it. Like they come in, they're all, oh, you collect baseball cards? I heard they're not worth anything. And you're all, yeah, they're not. I just like them.
That's true.
I just like them. What you heard is correct.
That's very true.
What you heard is correct.
Mike says, sounds like he's one of those analysts who gives buy and sell stock ratings on stocks, which affects the value of that stock. And that's what I'm saying. This is such a niche industry that somebody like this, and I'm not saying he's shady, but somebody like this can buy at a low price, talk about how great it is, and then sell at a higher price because of the influence on the hobby. We've seen it with Prism. I've talked about this probably 50 times on this show. Prism's silvers were worth $10 to $12 when they came out. They weren't worth anything. This was Giannis. Giannis came out. People were throwing silver prisms away. Nobody wanted silver prisms. Nobody understood what silver prisms were. There is a backstory of people that bought the Karl Anthony Towns year and the Wiggins, or the Karl Anthony Towns years, Kristaps, that year, 14-15, bought silver prisms, got them all graded, bought them all for $7 to $10, and then used a consignor and bid up each other's stuff to where silver prisms are now worth $200. And I heard it was only like 10 or 20 people that influenced that whole market, and now we have the silver prism market, and it's still going on. So if you think about that, if that really happened, it only took like 10 to 15 to 20 people to invest their money, and they weren't even losing money because they were just exchanging the card. They were sending it to ProbeScene or PWCC. They were having their buddy in the group bid on it, and other buddies bid it up. It went for $200. It was paid, sent to the guy. Guy put it back to ProbeScene, bid it up again, $250.
And
now it's a $200 Karl Anthony Towns that they all bought for $7.
And if they're raw, they're not numbered. There's no way.
Right, there's no way to track
no way
it.
to track it. So
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take many people to influence the hobby.
I get that. That's a pretty strong conspiracy you have there. It's like, do you know that happened for?
I don't know that it happened for a fact.
You don't
That's
know.
why I said allegedly.
But you're like, this may.
But doesn't it make sense?
It does. I think
Because when
but I also think by telling people this plan, you're also giving ideas to everybody out there who's like, I need to find a card that's not numbered, that's readily available, and manipulate the market on it.
Well, and it was genius because people.
I mean, is that a scam? Where does that
like Mike said in the chat, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Where does that stand? Is that a scam?
It's scammy.
Is that scammy? Well, I don't think scammy is a word, but scammy?
Because cards only have the value of what the completed auctions go for.
Yeah.
You get a Baker Mayfield, and you got a Baker Mayfield Contenders, and you're like,
I
I want to sell this. I look on eBay, and I say, okay, Baker Mayfield Contenders are going for $1,500. Sweet. That's what I'm going to try to sell it for.
Technically, I mean, that would be shill bidding, correct? You would be, even though it's not your item, you're kind of invested in the overall production of those cards. So I guess, I mean, you're basically shill bidding your buddy's auction up, right? So the people who manipulated the market were shill bidding their own auctions.
Right. And then maybe at some point those people put them up at Buy It Nows after that, and just let the people pick them off at Buy It Nows and not worry about
for
auctions.
Probably less than what they were selling for, so people think they're getting a good deal.
Correct. I'm just telling you how easy it would be. That's why I'm relating this, and I'm not saying Gary V's doing that. I'm not saying I'm just saying this hobby is so small that stuff like this could happen, and a small group of people can manipulate the market, and it's something to be maybe worried about. Or hey, maybe you got the Karl Anthony Towns at $200 and now it's for $400. I don't know, but I'm just saying there's things that could happen like that. But
I think everybody's. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with the Manion market. It's dry. I've been searching. There's no RPAs available. There's a couple at Buy It Nows. I think people are waiting for me to swoop up and buy one for $150, which I'm not gonna do. And there's still some up there, and I'm looking at you, Black Rose. I'm not spending
for $7,500.
I'm not gonna spend like $380 for a number to 99 Manion.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm looking at you, Black Rose.
It depends if I maybe in New Orleans I have a couple too many sodas and I go back and on eBay and accidentally start hitting the Buy It Nows. I mean, that's the only chance they have.
They just try to buy numbered cards and then they're willing to sit on them for 10 years at their price. They're just waiting for that one person to come around, which I don't know is a bad business model, but it's very it's laughable. But yeah, Mike, you're onto something about the Manion market. I think that's maybe we could just do that for fun. I'll just you send them into ProbeScene, I'll bid them all up. B and C Rat will bid them all up, and we won't do that. But it would be fun.
Whoa, but that means I have to get rid of them.
No, they'd come back to me, and I'll give them back to you.
I don't want anybody else touching them. I don't want ProbeScene touching my Manions.
Touching my man.
Sorry, ProbeScene.
All right, we're getting close to getting into another case of Prism baseball, but we wanted to tell you guys we're going to be at the rookie premiere this weekend, guys, so tune in Friday and Saturday. Saturday will be the on-field event. We're starting a little early, 8 a.m. Pacific. That's 11 a.m. for you East Coasters. We're going to be on the field. This is going to be the first time 40 or so rookies are going to be putting on their jerseys for the first time. We're talking Kyler Murray, we're talking Nick Bosa, Haskins, Locke, Daniel Jones, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Josh Jacobs from Raiders. I mean, they're all going to be out there in attendance. They're going to be taking pictures for all their pretty much their Panini cards for the year. And they're going to be sitting down breaking with us. We're doing a 9-case break there that's already sold out. Thank you guys for filling that up. And but we do have some spots available in our preview cases of Legacy. And we're going to do that Legacy 2019 football on Friday. 2 random style cases, $35.99, live from LA. There'll probably be some giveaways, so you're definitely going to want to jump in on that, and or just tune in. I'm going to have a bunch of highlight videos if you can't make it, and we'll probably be talking about it next week on The Hype. But here's some images of last year. C-Rad got to break with the Super Bowl champion Sony Michel. And I think there's a couple more pictures. There's Saquon out there throwing the football. And then Sam Darnold, breaking with C-Rad.
I love that. I love that look that Sammy D is giving C-Rad.
That is
That's a good look.
He's like, Charizard, huh?
He's all, what?
So, and you guys come in the chat. Be nice to these guys. Ask you know we're gonna interact.
Be nice.
Don't ask them some crazy questions, but jump in our chat and interact with some of these players. Hopefully, your favorite player will be breaking with us. I think we usually get about 8 to 10 of the guys throughout the day. So hopefully, we'll get Kyler or Dwayne Haskins or something like that, and they'll be breaking some high-end cards with us and score and all the stuff we'll be breaking out there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Tune in this Saturday, and we'll have breaks all weekend too. And C-Rad's going to have some awesome football breaks on Saturday night and Sunday as well. So it'll be a fun weekend of stuff going on. So be sure to check that out and get your spots in for the Legacy preview. So we're honored to be out there again with Panini and the NFL Rookie Premier event. So. But that's about all we got for the show. Prism's coming up next. We got Prism Randoms coming up as well. So jump in on that. Follow us at MojoBreak_com on Twitter and Instagram. And subscribe to us here on YouTube. Also, before I forget, there is a free National Treasures basketball break going on right now. Yes, a free $1,400 box break that we've got on our site. If you go to MojoBreak.com, you go at the free break link on the top of the website, click on that, and enter in your information. It gets you a chance at getting a free team in 1819 National Treasures. And we're going to be doing that on May 29th at 2:45 Pacific. So you'll find out then if you get a team. I mean, somebody basically got a chance at getting like a crazy $10,000 or $20,000 Luka Doncic if it comes out of that box. I mean, it's going to be fun, and it's the best thing is it's free. So if you don't like it, we'll give you a refund. For that free break. But that's all we got for this week. We'll be back next week with Hype number 92. And we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we'll have our regular setup back next week. We'll see. We'll get that computer fixed. But for now, we'll talk to you guys later. Peace.